Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Legends of StarCraft. I am, of course, Subsourian, and my co-host is Mark, the podcast extraordinaire. We have kind of a special episode today. Jack Ritschel, who is, of course, the voice of Zeratul and many other classic characters, unfortunately passed away, but there has been a lot of controversy around it. So we actually have the daughter of Jack Ritschel, Susan Boring Ritschel. How you doing, Susan?
Fine. How are you doing?
Doing great. It's
Good.
we did not at all expect to get it. Is a surprising thing to get for us because yeah, we figured
Yeah.
that was a this would be a dead end. But thank you for responding to our messages and
Oh,
helping us clear it.
I was so excited to hear from you guys because the whole story is so kind of convoluted and
Yeah, it is
it'd be
fun.
nice to be able to kind of put this to rest.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think you have a script you wanted to go down. Then we can maybe go deeper in if you would like to do that. However you'd like to.
Let's hear what you have written down.
Okay. I just kind of wanted to talk about Dad's career and stuff too.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
that's all right with you.
That's usually where we start anyway. The history, how his how the actor's career started or the dev's career. So this is perfect. So go, please.
Because I'm just so proud of him, you know.
Yeah.
He's a well-loved figure, and his voice is very memorable.
Yes, it always was. And he died at 89, and his voice was, he still had that voice. He could walk into a room and, hello, and it would just carry, all the way through the house. And he was gifted with such an amazing voice.
NYC, I go years without you, and I can't get enough.
And he also worked on his voice, but, he did have a really, really beautiful voice. So
Yeah.
he planned on his, he thought his career was going to be in radio. He went to the University of Iowa, and he was doing everything to do with radio there. So he was doing every kind of radio show that they had, and all the different broadcasts, and that was pretty much it. It was the old days when people would circle around the radio and listen to stories and stuff like that. And so that was the family entertainment at the time. And kind of funny story, about the time that he was leaving the university, that's when they started bringing in all this TV equipment. And everybody that was in, the radio business thought, that's not going to take off. TV, that nobody's going to be interested in that. Well, they were obviously very wrong. And take off, but Dad is always just moved on and adapted to everything that, all the changes that were going on and in the show business realm. So he did a lot of stage acting. He did a lot of stage acting in his college days too, and he loved that. So it was radio and stage acting, and he just loved the thrill of the stage.
And became rich, friendless, and mean. Which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go.
And so he thought that was, pretty much going to be it for him. Jumping forward, I'd like to talk to you a little bit later about his actual acting career, but moving forward, then when it came time for things were moving towards voiceovers, he adapted to that too. And it was almost like going back to his roots, doing the voiceovers was almost like going back to radio. So he was very interested in that, and he studied up on that and got into that. And so it was actually 1997 that he actually did the first StarCraft. and he had done Zeratul and Overmind, General Duke, and several of the Templar voices on that one.
Awaken, my child, and embrace the glory that is your birthright. Know that I am the Overmind, the eternal will of the Swarm, and that you have been created to serve me.
And he was super popular, really popular, and everybody that was in charge of the productions loved him. They just loved him. And then apparently Zeratul was a super popular personality there.
Yes, yeah.
Indeed. When I slew the Cerebrit Onchar, I touched briefly with the essence of the Overmind.
So he had quite the following for that. And so that was it was super fun for him. And then 98, he did Brood War, and he reprised all those roles, and then also Admiral General de Gaulle, along with all the other ones. And it was fun because my son was about 17 when the games came out, and he had a massive amount of friends. And they all were obsessed with this game, totally, completely obsessed with these games. So, and my husband is a child at heart. And so he had computers set up all over the house, and he and these boys would all be playing StarCraft for hours and hours and hours into the middle of the night, and they'd be on teams or playing against each other or whatever, and they absolutely loved it. But the really amusing part for Dad with that was that, he was so famous even before this time, he was so famous in the stage acting world that he got to the point where he didn't even have to audition for most of the big parts because everybody knew him. But these boys, my son, of course, had been to plays, but these other boys had never been to plays. So they didn't realize that Dad was actually very famous. And, but when he would walk in, they were starstruck and just like so gaga goo goo over, because that's his voice. This is Zeratul. Oh my gosh, this is Zeratul. And so, Dad went through being this big star to all these boys, and they would beg him to do all the voices. And,
I expect that, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just so ironic. He spends his whole life doing this career, and then it's the games that the kids were just so madly in love with his characters that to them, that's what made him super famous.
What did he think of the characters? Did he like find any fun value in it, or was he more so interested in how everyone else reacted to it?
Oh, he was really into it. He thought it was really fun, and he liked it that, he was able to do many different voices, and he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it a lot. And he was really looking forward to, he knew he was a shoe-in for the next one, that if there was going to be a next StarCraft, he knew that he was so loved that he would definitely be doing the next one and was very much looking forward to it. Until
Yeah.
Start up to let me explain to our audience what happened. So in 2008 or 2009 at BlizzCon, which is a Blizzard convention, Chris Metzen said that Jack Ritschel had passed away. And so we're going to have Fred Tatascore be Zeratul.
And they did a whole a big memory of how good Jack's voice was. So it's always confused us because it was very the old voice actor is impossible to replace. He's got this they call it the benevolent Darth Vader voice that just it's such a high standard that you can't.
Yeah.
But so
it
anyway,
comes across as they believed it. It comes across as though they believed whatever it is that told them that he was dead.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you sent me that clip.
Yeah.
And it did sound like they believed it. It's just it's just so odd to me, and it was to Dad. Like, who would do this? Who would just be sitting around their living room and say, let's just make up that somebody's dead. Let's pick Jack Ritschel and start spreading rumors that he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Without any backup, would have been so easy to look him up on, anything and find out he was still alive or give him a call. Blizzard could have easily given him a call and
Agreed.
found out he was alive.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. We came to the conclusion. We really think that somebody had some kind of a motive in it. Like maybe it was somebody that was hoping that they would get the part if they spread the word that Dad was dead. And because it just doesn't make any sense. Unless there's an ulterior motive that somebody was going to benefit from it to just sit and make something up like that without any or being no kind of proof, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
And no one
Ritschel is spelled Ritschel.
It's a very specific name. Yeah.
It's a very specific name.
Yeah.
So I don't think that anybody saw an obituary for a different Jack Ritschel.
No,
I think
don't
they
think so.
just made it
I
up.
will. Yeah, I will tell the audience here. The Subsourian is a witness to this. Last year, literally August of last year, August of 2024, so a whole year ago, ironically enough, I sat down and I just had this huge spreadsheet of all these different Jack Ritschels and John Ritschels that I could find. And I narrowed it down to 2. And by the end, I'm like, it's the same guy.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way it's not the same guy.
Because the community found the obituary when he properly did pass, unfortunately.
Right.
And then everyone was just very confused. Like, what? Clearly they said, yeah. So that was the point where we started hunting.
What? Yeah.
You found the obituary from 2020, right?
Yeah, the one that
Yes,
you
yes.
wrote, and that's how I found you. But yeah, it was so crazy because I didn't know what to think. I couldn't stop imagining, like, why would this happen? And then of course I kept on thinking of almost awesome Zeratul cutscenes could have had Jack in it. And
Yes.
then I start going through that rabbit hole, and I don't want to do that. I'll leave it to the audience to do that because now I put it in your heads. Anyway,
Well, that was the only thing that made us, we kind of reconciled to this fact that happened to him. It was too late to call Blizzard. It was already out. So what's he going to do? Call Blizzard and say, I'm alive. Could you just redo the whole thing and put me in it? Instead of this other guy. But, so it was like, what do you do about it? We tried posting on the internet, Jack Ritschel is alive. I put, he's my dad and he's alive. Although, you kind of got me digging on the internet, and I found some other stuff. Somebody said they were his daughter, and they were talking, I don't know, some other weird stuff. And I'm his only child. So, there's some crazy people out there writing some really crazy things.
unless this is some Parent Trap nonsense, then yeah.
So
It is worth noting that there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll let you.
the only consolation that we had, honestly, the only consolation that we finally all sat around and said after we were reading, we would be digging and digging and reading. We never could find out who did it. We never found out who was the one that did that to him. But we loved it that the new actor did not get good reviews. And they were saying, "Where's Jack Ritschel? He's so much better than this one,"
Yeah,
And so,
that's the common thing is everyone thinks Jack is way better.
yeah.
But
So,
Crit Data Score is great is like some characters like Shake the Dog and Adventure Time and things like that. He's not that good in
Yeah, he has a flexible voice, but Jack has a very specific voice.
Wait, no, that's John DiMaggio. Never mind.
Yeah,
People are going to
different.
kill me for that.
That's all right.
Anyway,
But yeah, I was about to say, especially his General Duke voice is very iconic. The Southern drawl he had, or he was able to do with that one. So
Yeah.
I guess Fred does Megatron from Transformers War for Cybertron. So there you go, audience. I now found one that
But
he voices.
if it's there's been a lot of confusion around voice actors from StarCraft 1 too. Also, they never actually credited a lot of them, which is also why we wanted to reach out to figure out what Jack actually did, because they just gave you a list of voice actors and not what they did. So we also wanted to make sure he had everything that was his due attributed to him. So you mentioning that he did Protoss Templar too is actually a new thing. We never knew that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did a whole bunch of parts in these things, and in some of the things that I read, it didn't mention that he did, the Duke, and he obviously did, so there's a lot of stuff on the internet that's not real accurate, but anyway.
Part of the reason we actually started this is because there were a lot of it was the very early internet, and people just said things and then they just accepted them as true, and with who voiced who. So part of this was doing this is to set that straight. So that's why we're happy to get you on this.
Oh, Subsourian, wasn't James Harper, the guy who did Minsk, was he miscredited as Zeratul a long time ago?
He might have been.
That was a thing. I remember him bringing that up in one of the conventions.
That's a strong possibility, but again, early internet and people.
Anyway,
like we were just saying with Susan, you could just say you're Zeratul's daughter, and who's gonna check?
Who's gonna check? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got ticked off at one of these things today. I was reading it, and even some girl posted something about. Well, I heard that he was involved in some scandal, and he was like went to prison or something like that. And it's just like
in game theory today, we're going to talk about scandalism. What?
Yeah, I just had to respond to that. And it wasn't very nice either. I called her a couple of names and said, why? What's wrong with you?
Why would you make this up?
Nothing could be farther from the truth. He was just quietly waiting for them to call, and he knew that they were going to call until they didn't.
Well, we should have, because everyone loves Zeratul, Everyone loves Duke. Everyone loves the Overmind.
I guess I also wanted to kind of dig in, because while we were looking, we found a lot of his acting roles, which we also love. And I think you said you were going to speak to that too. So we would actually be interested, kind of his acting history, some of his favorite roles.
The moment that I realized that it was the same Jack, that moment of catharsis was when I watched this clip from L.A. Law. And it was the other Jack, apparently, but it was the same Jack. I could hear Duke. I could hear Zeratul. And the minute I heard it, I'm like, oh, God, it's the same guy.
I was Burdick Darcy's personal attorney for 28 years.
What was your most recent assignment for Mr. Darcy?
Restructuring his estate. Burdick wanted his holdings, including 100% of his company's stock, to be placed in a spendthrift trust.
And what is that?
It's an arrangement under which assets cannot be sold or collateralized without approval from the trustee.
Oh, God. There was a mistake that happened. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did amazing in that episode. I watched the whole episode. I didn't know what was happening because I've never seen the show, but he did a good job in it.
That's good. Yeah, he did. He, like I said, his love was the stage, but he did quite a bit of TV shows. He had a lot of different TV shows, and he was in a few movies and things like that, commercials, all different venues, but his love was really truly the stage. He just, because he could handle it so well, and it always amazed me, like, he was young and handsome in his younger days, and then this beautiful voice, and so he'd be leading man, and he would have these whole scripts memorized, and if somebody else messed up, he could ad lib. really, really well. He was really fast on his feet, and he could just ad lib and get through the mistakes. Help, especially so his. I think his very favorite role was Hello Dolly, and he did that with you. You younger people will probably never have heard of most of the people, but in the time, these actresses were huge. Like Martha Ray, she was huge. So he did Dolly without even auditioning like 8 times. And Martha Ray wouldn't do it without him. That had to be her leading man if she was not going to do the role. So they did that together 3 times. And she was very, very forgetful. And there were times when she'd even like run off the stage and say, "What's my next line?" And come back on. And then it kind of turned into a joke. And then they kind of made it part of the show just because everybody laughed so hard. But the first time around, she really didn't remember a lot. But if she messed up, Dad could always fix it. And they would just ad lib and joke and play. And they became really good buddies. And they did a great, great job on the show. And so then there's many, many other, they were very famous leading actresses at the time. Like I said, you'll probably never hear of them because they're all dead by now, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, he did that so many times that, you know, he liked to be called Vanderbilt, you know, just because he played Vanderbilt so many times and had so much fun doing that. But he did, yeah, he spent his lifetime touring. When I was a little girl, it was like he was always on tour. He'd go across the country, he'd been around the world, and but he was always so good about writing me letters. I always had letters from every state that he was in, every country, and little gifts from every little place. And I've saved all his letters. You know, I have big boxes of
Sweet.
all the letters and postcards that he sent me because even though he was going a lot with the acting, he was a really good dad. So I'm standing in front of some of the posters of. Hopefully, maybe you know some of these names, but like Robert Goulet. Do you know him? Or is he that too old too? Uh, yeah, okay. He's I'm sure dead by now too. But anyway, he was.
Don't pass those rumors.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right.
There's even more rumors. Yes.
Looked it up.
We'll fact check. We'll make sure.
All right, I take that back. He's at least old.
Real
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. Anyway, Dad was in Man of La Mancha a whole bunch of times, and then he had a lot of parts with him. John Lake and Shenandoah was he was a famous guy. Pia Zadora, he was in Funny Girl with her. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Now that went on tour all over the country and even went to Broadway. So that was a biggie for him.
Oh, that one I actually do recognize.
Do you?
Yeah, seven.
That was a TV show too.
Yeah, I think that might be why I recognize it.
Yeah, probably. Bobby Sherman.
I recognize Annie.
Oh, yeah, I remember that
That's
TV
so
show. I had a crush on Bobby Sherman.
Yeah.
So he was in Annie many, many times too. He played Daddy Warbucks, and he really liked that part to the point where he got tired of they put the special cap on him to be bald, and finally he just shaved his head because he kept getting the role so many times that he just shaved his head. So these are just some of the big posters we have on. But this is when he was really young. And he was in college at this point, and this was one of the Shakespearean plays that he was in. And I loved him as Bill Sikes in Oliver. He did Oliver many, many, many times, but that Bill Sikes character was, really deep and brutal. And are you familiar with Oliver?
Yeah, I am.
From researching, we've seen that, but yes, we'll definitely probably link to it.
It was a really, really good show, and he was, played a very, very harsh character with a very, very deep voice. So he really carried that off real well. And Which one was this?
This is Best Little Whorehouse, Texas,
Whorehouse in Texas.
with Susan Anton,
Susan Anton.
which is before your time too, probably.
Yeah. And I just made a little collage of
Oh.
Oh wow.
a bunch of different random shows that he did. And
There's a lot of his StarCraft roles he could have done in person. He matches it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, General Duke the picture looks
I
like
was about
him.
to say.
Yeah, it's probably designed specifically like him for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some Dolly in here. This role he played, I can't remember the name of the play, but he actually took karate lessons because he had this whole karate scene with this woman in that show. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
Man of many talents.
He learned karate for that, and he did lacage tons of times. So a lot of this is Dolly because it's his favorite. Those were from Dolly.
If I want an ideal wife, I'll find one of my own. And I've found her. And it's you. Damn it.
Horace.
I know. I have been a fool.
There's Bill Sykes again. You can see, he was big. He's a big, strong man. And so he was just perfect for that role. And that's Susan Anton. So this was his favorite, Dolly, Martha Ray, and in Hello Dolly. And that's the one that she would not work with anybody else. She had to have Dad. And so, yeah, there's a different Dolly there. But, like I said, he never even had to audition for those because all the Dollies wanted him. Okay, I'm going to try not to cry over this one because he did this show many, many times. It's Phantom, not Phantom of the Opera.
Okay, I was about to say. That sounds like you said Phantom of the Opera.
Not Phantom of the Opera, Phantom, which it really goes into the character development a lot more, and it has a lot more songs in it that are so beautiful. So I actually prefer Phantom over Phantom of the Opera.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Why does he wear a mask?
He won't say. Only that I'll never see him with it off.
For which you should be grateful. If you saw, you'd know why he's lived down here. Eric does not understand your world. You must get out at once.
No, I don't care what his face looks like. I've seen his eyes.
And so in Phantom, there's actually the character Carrier, who is actually turns out to be, I'm going to ruin the story for you, but turns out to be the Phantom's dad. And there's a number at the end where he's telling him, that I'm all this time, I'm really your father. And oh God, it's just so touching. And I saw that show, because he was in it so many times. And so if it was traveling distance that I could get to, I would always go. And I saw it at least 9 or 10 times, and I would be just bawling. I'd just be in tears whenever Dad would sing that song to him.
Eric, you are my son. Do you know you're my son? You became my whole life when your life was begun. Do you know that the man who protected you always has been your father?
Yes, I know I'm your son, and I'm more than surmised. I have known for some years that my eyes are your eyes, and I wondered how long it would take you to tell me it's true.
Now that you know, I must tell you, I'm grateful for you.
No, it is I who am grateful to you, my father. music alone. It's been worth all the pain, and a life of perpetual darkness and rain.
For inside you, the light of the soul of your mother has shone. Eric, you are my son, and my boy, and my life, and my own.
I would just cry every time, as would the rest of the audience. You know, everybody's just sobbing over this one.
Yeah.
And it was a different anthem, but you know, that again doing that number, that's my favorite. Like I said, Dolly was probably his, but this is my favorite. So, and he picked all these things to have up on his wall. This was one of his rooms. He lived with us towards the end, and at the end, he lived here till he passed. And so this was one of his rooms, and so he liked being surrounded by his memories. I was a little girl. In this one. And he played. He was so embarrassed by this, but I loved it. He was a Labaroo, and he came on stage. I'm the Labaroo, and
I understand both perspectives. That looks so horrendous and beautiful at the same time.
it was hilarious because he had to wear tights. And Dad was so not a wear tights kind of guy, you know.
Yeah.
There he is in Annie with his little bald head, and
That's
more
interesting.
more Dolly because he just really loved being in Dolly. So that's a sample of the pictures that he chose to put up and have around him while he was living here.
Well, that's really sweet.
Yeah,
I would love to die surrounded by memories on frames. That would be beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
That got really sad. I'm sorry, but that would be that's really beautiful what you did for your dad. That's awesome.
So we have a couple little samples of his voice singing if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is from Paint Your Wagon.
Oh, he was in Paint. I do know Paint Your Wagon.
You do know Paint Your Wagon.
That one I do know. I've seen the Clint Eastwood one, but not the.
I learned to talk, the word they taught me was goodbye. That and where's my hat are all I'll need until I die. Aching for to stop, but always aching for to go. Searching, but for what I never will know. I was born under a wandering star. I was born under a wandering star. When I get to heaven, tie me to a tree where I'll begin to roam, and soon you know where I will be. I was born under a wandering star, a wandering star.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gives you a little idea.
He had range.
Yeah, he did have a really, really good range. Like I said, it lasted till really close to when he died too. So he did a lot of when he got like too old to be moving around as much as you have to on stage. He did a lot of sort of radio kind of broadcast kind of things again.
Here's one more. This is Hello Dolly. Let me turn it on here.
This is his favorite.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
Yeah, so that was Dad's favorite show, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to watch it after this one because see if there's any recordings because
So have you gone to much theater?
not lately, but I used to go to back when I was in college, but not lately.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the last one?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's from Phantom, my favorite.
Beautiful.
Yes, I promise I'll never allow you to be on display. Eric, you are my son,
I have known all along.
and the light of my life.
I have known all along.
Eric, you are my son and my boy, and my love, and my own.
Okay, now that Susan's crying.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all good.
Every time. If you can ever find a production of Phantom these days, it's really worth seeing.
I think I have a new finding day to go to taken out into the theater.
Yeah.
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 I could even, upload a separate YouTube video of just the footage of him from different
'cause
shows.
we definitely want to preserve his legacy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the voice in StarCraft.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be really nice. I would love that.
Yeah.
And it just meant the world to me too that you contacted me because, I miss him so much and it's been really nice to be able to honor his memory, and
Definitely.
his career. So I really appreciate you guys doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is
Thank
we
you.
did not expect to get anything on this lead. It took
Yeah.
some digging, so we're
It
very
took
happy.
digging, and then it took me to get the balls to actually contact. So I didn't know if I dared, but I finally did. So I'm glad that I did.
You get all the credit.
Yeah, you get all the
this one's
credit.
on Mark. Yes.
I don't know about that.
Did you have questions?
We do have a couple. What do you think your dad's favorite character that he played was?
Oh, in StarCraft?
I guess
What do you-
StarCraft.
We can
or
do
an
both his
actor
favorite,
for the
which you already
States.
answered, but StarCraft and non-StarCraft. But I suppose you already answered his favorite for Hello Dolly.
Yeah, I would say Vandergeld and Hello Dolly for stage, but
I think
what's your answer for StarCraft?
Admiral de Gaulle was probably his favorite
Ooh.
because he's German by ancestry.
Oh,
So I think that Russian accent was, he could relate to that.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I think he liked the popularity of Zeratul,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the one most.
I'm sure retrospectively he liked Zeratul more, but at the time he liked recording the call more, perhaps.
Right.
That might have been it. Yeah.
I don't know which he's referring to, but I remember him coming home and saying, "Well, I have no idea what I said." Because I guess it was space language or something, He said, but they really liked it.
They really liked it.
Yeah, they really liked it. Although I have no idea what the I guess it was kind of,
The Zeratul parts.
the Zeratul parts.
Yep, the Kalani.
Probably. Zeratul had a lot of. He spoke a lot of. I almost said angel. Alien languages. Yeah.
Alien languages. Yeah. Yeah. So, that was fun because he's just speaking gibberish to him, but then he's getting all this applause and, oh, wow, you did a great job.
You did a
Oh,
great
my
job.
God.
I don't know what I said.
I don't know what I said or whatever, but they were so happy with him. That's why it was such a shock,
Right.
when that StarCraft 2 came out, because they were so happy with him. They just couldn't have enough good things to say. So
Yeah, it must have been a real shock for him. I know I asked you this privately a couple weeks ago, but I would like to ask again for the audience. Did him getting replaced sour his mood about StarCraft as a whole, or did he still enjoy the legacy that he did do?
I would say it did not sour his mood about StarCraft, because he has such fond memories of that, and the boys all playing it, and all that kind of stuff, and still, yes, and Steve playing it all the time. Yeah. So, I don't think it soured him about StarCraft, but it was really a shock and soured him about who who would do this to me.
Yeah.
Who would do this to me? You know?
Yeah.
So you kind of soured him about people and people's character because, well, like I said, had to be for alternative, like some kind of motive that they were going to gain something by saying he's dead. Because who would just sit there and say, "Let's make up somebody's dead. Who should we pick? Let's see," you know. It, so that really kind of soured him towards lack of humanity, you know, and that
Yeah.
somebody would sabotage him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he still loves StarCraft, but and the memories, all the memories and all that.
That's good. That's good. Let's see, what other questions do we have? What do you think did he ever do any quotes to you guys or at home at dinner or anything? Did he ever break into character or do one of the voices randomly? Like, what was that?
He would the boys would make him. It's like, because he used to eat dinner at our house all the time and stuff. And so if he walked in the door, there's usually boys there that played StarCraft, and it would be, do Zeratul, do this, do General Duke, and so the boys would all make him do it over and over and over and over, and he got a kick out of that. I'd be kind of like, guys, leave him alone, let him rest, but he would be like, it's okay, because he liked it, he liked that attention. So yeah, he had to do that a lot when the boys were around.
You remember any specifics? I'm sorry, I'm just so curious.
Do you remember specifics, Steve? Steve played the game all the time. So
The only specifics I remember is he would speak with that Russian accent. When they said that, and he'd kind of make stuff up or repeat something of the game. But that Russian accent, he really,
he liked doing the Russian accent.
like doing the Russian accent.
Right, doing De Gaulle's voice. Right.
Yeah, because thinking about it, I think this was that part of it was a little bit new for him.
You didn't really
doing
do accents before?
No, I don't remember any plays where he had to do accents. Do you?
No.
I can't. I don't remember any plays where he was doing accents. So
You guys said that he was his ancestry is German. Is that like was he just able to do the accent years prior, or did he have to learn the accent for the role?
No, he had to learn the accent for the role because he didn't usually go around doing accents. He didn't have it at any of the shows he was in, so there wasn't really any reason for him to be going around doing accents. And so I think that was, a fun thing for him, learning to talk alien and 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 learning to to,
Alien.
to do to do
We have
Russian.
two languages to teach you: Russian and alien. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I think that, he liked the challenge and everything. And so, yeah, I think that would be the first time, I ever remember him, doing accents. But then afterwards, Steve's right. There would be times years later where, he would just break out into the Russian accent, just because I think that was something totally new and different for him and
Mm.
and
He
and
unlocked
fun.
a new fun thing to do for his grandkids.
Just so I'm sure, because we have a separate hunt for the Russian voice. But Dougal, I know, was supposed to be French in the game, but what was he? Or was it specifically Russian? Because that might open up something else.
Well, it sounded.
It's supposed to be, well, was it Russian?
I thought it was. It sounded Russian to me.
Was it
I mean,
French?
The character's name is Gerard Dougal, so.
Oh, yeah, so that is French. You're
I
right.
know where you're going with this Subsourian.
But he had an
not
assistant who
Stukov.
was. I'm certain, but he had an assistant who was Russian, Admiral Alexei Stukov. But we have no idea who voiced him, and that's been a big mystery on this show. So that's why
I have a theory, but
yeah, we think we know,
all
but that's why I wanted to make sure, because I'm like, oh gosh, did he do Stukov too?
Well, did he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
I don't think it didn't sound anything like him. I don't know.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
So it was French, and we just thought it was Russian the whole time.
It might have been.
No. It's okay. Russian, French, German. I don't know.
That is actually,
Accent.
and Mark will remember, we had another voice actor who did someone who served under Dougal, who tried to do a German accent, but she had just done a Russian production, so it came across as Russian. So that's the second time that happened.
Yep.
Well, if you guys are probably more familiar with accents, so how did it come across? Did it come
I
across
thought it was
as
French.
French?
I thought it was French to me, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it.
I thought it was German. I'm just gonna go out and say it. I thought it was German. I thought it was German. I thought it was supposed to be a Nazi fascist character or something. So I thought he was German. I'm sorry. Okay, Subsourian. I'm sorry.
Well, those accents are kind of similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they're close. I mean, it came across correct to me. So,
well, I hope so. But
I can only imagine the comments. All of them are just going to be about, "You're wrong. It's Russian. You idiots, all of you. Steve is correct." And all that stuff.
either that or it's going to be Steve and Susan are idiots and they were right and it's French or German.
One guy will be like, "It's okay, Mark. I thought it was German."
He's playing it right now. He's playing it right now.
Before we left Earth, so we could know that we have come here to conquer this sector in the name of humanity.
I think it's Russian.
I think I could definitely hear a Russian bend to it.
Yeah.
You realize
But
that if we fail in our mission here, not one of us will be going home. We stand or fall together.
It could be German, but I don't think it's French.
well,
Yeah, but the name's French, right?
and also he signs off before his death in the game with "au revoir," which is French.
Oh, well, there you go. Then it's got to be French. So we're wrong. You're right.
I only asked because of the Stukov connection thing, because that's a big mystery
You know
on
what,
this show.
Sub? I think you've unlocked the true ending. We have now found out it's French.
Well, if he said au revoir, it must have been French. So you're right. We're wrong.
Still sounds German.
It's okay. I don't want to tease him, but hey, it's fine. He, as you said, he's never done an accent before, so he's not good at it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably not.
Sounded good to me. So.
It sounded great. I love Dougal. I'm just saying, I don't blame him for just doing an accent and not being able to hone in on one specific, because it's really hard to do that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure some people might think it's an Italian accent. Some people might think it's German, like me.
It's a character. I mean, it's a character who I have a tattoo related to his performance, so I love
Do
that.
you?
So yeah, the UED, his faction, I have it all in a bag. So
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, whatever he did,
it was great.
they were happy with it. And so I
Yeah.
guess the people that were, working with him, they were happy. So I guess they didn't know the difference either.
I don't know.
They
Well,
didn't ask him to correct
You know
it.
what? No matter what the accent was, the role was still great, and he did amazing in it, no matter
Yeah,
what. And
definitely.
I think that's what truly matters, is that he inspired the hearts of millions with that voice, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good. So are a lot of people still playing it?
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh,
It's not what it used to be, but everyone knows it still. So it's
oh yeah,
the
people
second
play it all
game
the
came
time.
out. They're still talking about maybe reviving it eventually, but
Yeah.
it's the king of its genre still. So
Yeah,
Wow.
the first game in Korea, they had like freaking championship matches and stuff for years. And then when the remaster came out, they had championship matches of that. And do they still do the GSL or whatever?
yeah, they
Do they still do that with
I think
StarCraft 1?
so.
Or
Yeah,
does it
they
just-
still do StarCraft 1 circuit. I think it's ASL now, but
ASL, right? Okay. Anyway, they do game shows. So basically, you know how, and you guys would know what this is. You go on TV and you watch football, right? So it's basically like that, but we're watching a screen high up with a big auditorium, and you're just watching people play StarCraft. So people do that. People play that now. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
did
Yeah.
I guess a separate thing. Did he know that the first game got re-released with fancy new graphics and all that? And of course his voice in all those old roles.
Oh,
but
yeah.
did he know about that, or did it? He
No.
get the check? Oh,
That came out
No.
before he passed. So
yeah, I think it was the same year.
I don't think so. And he
It
didn't
was
get
not-
paid. He actually didn't get paid a whole lot for these things, but he was really happy because he was a hero with the kids, because they did give him free copies of the game.
Hold on,
Oh.
Subsourian.
That works.
So he got free copies, and so all the kids, he was again the hero with all the teenagers. So he was
So
he was happy
passed
about that.
in 2020, but remaster came out in 2017, so that's 3 years before.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
So it came out 3 years before, but
Gotcha, Subsourian.
everybody thought he was dead by then.
Yeah. So we'll have to. Hopefully, we can write this.
For those of you that don't know what that was, it's an inside joke. I like to one up Subsourian sometimes because he's the nerd of StarCraft.
So
And
would
I'm
would he have gotten another paycheck for it?
It would depend on the contract. I have no idea.
I
would
don't
think
know.
so, but
It's a remaster.
they did use his voice on all those old roles. So
But like it's recycled.
Ah.
It's recycled voice. So like I don't know if that counts, right?
I guess they also recycled it, some of his stuff for 2, the second game, for his Duke performance. They kept the old voice for when they went backwards. So
Did
I
they?
don't know.
Flashback, yeah. That's the only time that he appeared. He's not credited, but
Is he not? I have to check, but I haven't looked.
I promise you he's not. I just looked at it like 2 days ago.
Hmm.
And he didn't get credit.
I sat there for 10 minutes watching the Wings of Liberty credits slowly crawl, and I did not see his name. No.
It's a shame.
Not even a goodbye, Jack Ritschel. Thank you for your legacy. Not even that. So.
Aw, that's sad.
Yeah,
I know.
That's very sad.
they don't do that for most actors, anyways. It's
I don't
Thank
know if
you.
you're interested in more of a show business career, but
I would love to hear
I-
more of his show business.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I have about, I'd say 10 more minutes, and then but I definitely would love to hear more too with this too.
Yeah, if you have any more stories you'd like to tell real quick, we have like one more question left that I have on my screen, and then after that we're done.
okay.
So,
Did you want to ask your question, or you want to ask that last?
well,
We
it's-
usually end with that one.
It's
So.
meant to be the last question. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, he did a huge variety of shows, and he did like the same show, many, many, many times. And his personality was really, really cute. Like he always liked to do like sweet things for the cast. And so he would always, like, I don't know, have mugs made with the name of the show and their character, and he would always put something funny on there too. There always had to be humor involved in it, and he would always like to try to liven things up backstage. He would always play a lot of practical jokes and connect, he would instigate, let's all go bowling, or that kind of thing, because he was actually a very faithful husband to my stepmother. He was to my real mother too, but they got divorced. But his second wife was getting off point, but his second wife was actually, they met on a show, and she was the musical director. So she was a musical director, and she was actually quite well known as a voice teacher. So she taught voice, and she would work with Dad too on his singing parts and stuff like that. But anyway, he was very faithful, and so he wouldn't want to slip off with an actress or anything like that. He'd just try to get groups together or do fun things. But there was this one time where he had to share a dressing room with tons of people, like a whole lot of them, male and female. And so he went into the bathroom, and you could hear everything. It was there's all in the same room, and the bathroom's right there, and there's the door to the bathroom. And nobody knew, but he had slipped a great big giant bucket in there, and he had filled it with water. And so he started pouring the water into the toilet, and be like, psh, and stop, psh, and stop. And this just kept going on. Psh, 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 stop, psh, stop. And it went.
He did it to us once too.
He did this to us once too when we were on a trip, and the bathrooms were situated just perfect. We're like, what's wrong with him? There's something terrible wrong, because it went on for like 10 minutes, what is wrong with him? But he did that to the cast, and they're all surrounding the door like, should we go in there? Is he okay? What's happened? What's wrong? And, he came out laughing and with his bucket, and he just did stuff. He'd just do stuff like that. He was a real character, and he was very funny, and and just loving, like to make everything nice wherever he went. So I'm sure he probably did stuff like that when he was doing StarCraft. He probably made buddies with other people and did cute funny things, or that type of thing. He
Right.
always wanted things not just to be humdrum and boring. He wanted things to be fun and uplifting and team type of atmosphere,
Yeah.
Enjoy what you do.
Enjoy what you do, and he sure did. He really did.
That's really great.
Enjoyed his life.
I am going to wrap this up with our final question. Well, this question will be a two-parter. First part, what is your guys' favorite race in StarCraft? Or at least for you, Stephen, because you've played it.
Yeah,
He played it.
and it's very easy for me because I was a Marine.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
So I assume not. So yeah, Zerg.
Aaron.
Terran, yeah.
Yeah.
I like playing that. I like dropping nukes on people.
Yeah,
Nice,
that's what got
nice.
me into Terran too.
Yeah. What about okay? So and then Susan, you've never played the game, right?
No, I'm sorry, I haven't
That's
played the
okay.
game.
All right.
I
I
would,
would
I would,
recommend it,
I
but
would always come in and listen when Dad was talking.
That's a way to do it too.
that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think your dad's favorite race was?
What do you think?
I think Protoss, because of the Zerotov character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe, yeah.
It's a shame. They had a lot of figures and whatnot for Zeratul and a lot of merch for the role. So
Yeah.
if that might be good for the shrine.
Maybe
or
one day
for-
I can send you guys a Zeratul figure or something like a
Yeah.
statue.
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah, there's a ton of cool
That'd be-
stuff for it. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that's very cool. It's so great that it's still alive and kicking, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time ago. I mean,
I know.
my son was like 17 and he's 45 now, so that was a long time ago.
still people getting into it too. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I
That's
was
really great.
born only 6 or 7 months after the game came out, and I grew up with it. So it's
Did
only
you-
1 year. It's only about a year older than me. So
and I was like your sons, where they were. I was the one playing it at when it came out at late at night all the time. So
my first memory is being on my dad's lap watching him transform a siege tank over and over.
Yeah,
and letting me click it. So
it stayed with a lot of us for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's a,
Really?
all
Well,
right. Well,
it's still with you, apparently.
yes, it
Yeah.
still is.
That's great.
thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on, Stu.
This was great. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Stephen.
Well,
Yes.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it because, you know, I love my
Yes.
dad so much and, you know, this is kind of carrying on his legacy and I really appreciate it. And I'm really glad to sure want to know who that is that started that rumor, but
If we find anything, we'll let you know because
We will
we'll definitely dig
absolutely
further.
let you know.
yeah,
I will
I'd
keep in
appreciate it if you would.
contact. Yeah.
I'd appreciate it if you would, but you know, it kind of helps to be able to let people know that he was alive. He was alive, you know.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't know how to do that at the time. We had no idea how to get the word out that he was alive.
Yeah.
So now the word's out that he was alive then.
Yep, we will
Yeah.
definitely make sure, and I feel like a lot of people. Well, we'll sit. We're not a huge show, but we have enough of a following to where we can make it common knowledge. I run the wiki for the game, so at the
Yeah.
very least, I can put it there.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much. And I really
Yeah.
appreciate you contacting me. You went to a lot of work to find me.
I did. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark does owes a lot.
I feel bad
deserves a
for
lot of
how
credit
I
for that.
did it, but yeah, I had to like doing a lot of Google image searches and go through sites that I've never been on before, Lighthouse Initiative, all that shit, just to find you. But yeah, I'm glad I finally did.
That was so nice. And one more thing about that, just you know, it wasn't clear, like, because it went to the office manager, and she's like, Susan, come here. Somebody's trying to hunt you down, and it's something about Jack Ritschel, and she doesn't know my maiden name, you know. And she's like, someone's trying to track you down. I don't know what this is. You better come look. And I'm looking at it like, whoa, gee, did he owe money or something? I don't know. And then I saw in the email address StarCraft, and I was like, oh, I was so excited. I said, this is about my dad's career. And I just was so happy and excited and telling people all day about StarCraft. And it was so much fun. So it was thrilling. It was very, very thrilling to get your email.
Oh,
Well, I'm so glad.
doubly thrilling for us, I assure you.
Oh yeah. Doubly thrilling, yep. And triple thrilling for the viewers. So
Yes. All right. Well, thank you again, Susan.
we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.